Wow, this is not overclocked right now. So a couple days ago, Wolfanoz dropped a 512 gigabyte image, and I said it was just a work of art, beautiful RecalBox. This, if you're looking at this, you're like, what is the difference? This looks exactly like the image you were playing earlier. No, this is a 32 gigabyte version, kind of just really crammed down, but still including some CD-based games on that same great build, super snappy as you're seeing here. Huge arcade set, all working. You got light gun games, arcade games, you name it. Yes, a couple of the questions were, can you do retro achievements? Can I bring all my high scores from my past images here? Yeah, you go to hit start, game settings, retro achievements right there. You just turn them on, username, password. Can you add a fight stick to this? Yeah, absolutely. Hit start. Go down to the controller settings, not game settings, and you can add different controllers, inputs for player 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can. Right now I'm on an Xbox 360 controller, but you could preset up which players you want where, and there's even multiplayer game category over here. You can play Simpsons arcade game 4-player. It is possible. X-Men 4-player, awesome game right here. Let's just get into that right now. Let's check it out. Look at that. You go in, you got his boot screen. This is arcade image. He says that this is some of his best work, and I'm gonna have to agree. Really good stuff here. So we put in some tokens here, hit select, and this thing's going to be rocking and rolling. Some arcade games take a second to boot the BIOS, but there you go. And pick your Wolverine.
In the 21st century, evil mutants led by Magneto.
Got him. So let's go ahead and dive into this one. Let's go ahead and see exactly what is included on here. Show you a little bit more about the settings, what's kind of going on with the settings here, and my comments on the build. Let's get into it. When you first boot up, it is 2,495 games. Let's go ahead and see exactly how big this file size is. You're going to get this on backups.me. It is an exclusive release over there. It's not zipped up, so once you download it, it'll just be ready to throw onto an SD card and put it in a Raspberry Pi 4. It's 28.7 gigabytes, which is 30,921,000,000 bytes, which is actually pretty close. He said he only left about 100 megabytes left while, so you do need a good SD card, like, for example, a Samsung Evo Select or like a, one of the name brands, SanDisk, for example. Now, what do we have on here? We got arcades, which in arcades, you're going to find all of it. You're going to find your Neo Geo. You're going to find your CPS 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to find your MAME. We got Atari 2600. We got Dreamcast Naomi. We got Mega Drive Genesis. We got Nintendo 64, regular Nintendo, PC Engine, ports, a couple games here, full-size games, PlayStation, really small collection, small Sega CD, Super Nintendo, and then we have our collections in here, which are kind of, an easy way to find platformers, for example, or run and guns. To me, this reminds me a lot of Coin Ops and how it's set up as far as organization, which is really cool. So first up is arcade, and I want to tell you some details about this image. You can hit the upper bumper buttons getting in here. It does come non-overclocked or just stock clock. And you can overclock. You really don't need to. I've been playing around with this quite a bit, and everything runs pretty dang good. Maybe like Capcom versus Marvel versus Capcom 2 for Dreamcast Naomi. Maybe that game. A couple games might have a little bit less, hesitation during certain moments, but overall, it's very playable. As you see here, you get a video snap, or you get a screen and then a video snap. And then on the left side here, you see this big P next to B-Rap Boys here on your screen. And then over here, it'll say MAME next to Badlands. So it does tell you whether this is running on Final Burn or MAME, or, for example, the, arcade here. The arcade stick here is a Neo Geo stick, and so that's Neo Geo. So if you're wondering, which system you're playing, it tells you there. And I'm sure it tells you, okay, no, it doesn't tell you anywhere else. You might also notice a small little detail where we're going down this list is if you look at the bottom of the menu, right now it's like Super Nintendo style controllers next to launch, back, system, choose. So you go press start on your controller, go to the main menu, or just go to the main menu and then go main menu, and then you go to UI settings, and then theme configuration, and Right now it's on standard icons, okay, which are like SNES, but let's say we want to go to arcade buttons. Let's try that. Okay, we need to restart, so we'll go back to Bomberman here in a second. But this is also good to show you live how long it takes to boot up, you know, how to make, look how fast that was. So we already did it. And if you notice now, look at the bottom left corner. I think that's pretty darn cool, and this is way more appropriate for this image. Let's go back to arcade. We were on B, right? So let's go ahead and go to B over here. I think we were right around Boy, was it? Bomberman. Okay, so let's keep going. And now look, we have arcade buttons on the bottom there. And you know, depending on if you're a veteran user of this or not, you just, you know, I want to show you some of the little details. I talked earlier about retro achievements or you know, achievements for your games. You can log into that and bring those all over from your other images or wherever you're using them from. And it has a couple themes pre-installed. I was saying it's not overclocked, so it'll work stock on your Raspberry Pi. If you want to hook up an arcade stick, which is highly recommended, right, especially for a lot of these games. If it's a USB-based, you know, a lot of them do work, like the 8BitDo one works. You know, as long as you have like a USB encoder, like a DragonWise or something, that'll work just fine. You can play up to 4-player games, have up to 4 controllers. You can hook up a light gun as well, or you can just hook up a mouse, set that all up if you want to do light gun games here. There's quite a bit. A lot of this has been, you know, gone through as far as, you know, picking the right emulator, whether it be MAME 2016 or MAME 2009, whatever the, you know, the best emulator core is. The BIOS files are all here, so it is plug and play in those regards. When you first boot up the image, you will be prompted to enter your controls, so it is reset. So, you know, whether you're coming from an 8BitDo or Xbox 360 controller or whatever, you're going to be good to go. This is all running on the latest version of RecalBox, so you can easily upgrade it. You know, you go up here, main menu, and you can, you know, sign on to your network here, Wi-Fi, or directly plug in. And then you also have, you know, advanced settings here, RecalBox Manager, all kinds of, I don't know if that was playing over my voice, but you have all kinds of options there to update the cores and update RetroArch if they ever bring over a new update, or even updating RecalBox itself. The 32 gigabyte size here, I think, is going to be the big home run. A lot of you don't like big file sizes. I mentioned that earlier in the video, and I think that's the biggest downside to the 512 gigabyte. But and it makes it even more, you know, cheap. You know, cheap. The difference between like a 32 gigabyte SD card, you pretty much get them for free these days. They're included with a lot of stuff, but you know, even just buying them is like $5, $10. And then the Raspberry Pi and everything, so you're well under $100 with a good controller. You could probably do it as cheap as, I don't know, if you get really, really cheap, it might be like, you know, about 60, $70, depending on how you're sourcing everything. Maybe go to Micro Center, you can get it super cheap if you like walk in and get the good deals. I did want to read some of his notes here. It's full, you know, 20,000 refined arcade sets, 2,400 games in total, some systems. He says it's some of his best work. You know, he can include all the CD-based games that we're going to show you later in this video, just because, you know, we ran out of file size. And I mentioned earlier, if you missed it, that this thing is totally, you know, using all 32 gigabytes. So there's not a lot of extra space. You will have to delete some things if you want to add some stuff, or you can easily put it on like a 64 gigabyte SD card and then add on to it if you like. He wrote some tips here. I already mentioned one of them. Everything is, yeah, exactly. He goes over how user-friendly RecalBox is in his notes. You know, you hit start over here, you go to the main menu. You can easily mess with all this stuff here, scrape stuff, go on the network, change your... It does have background music, by the way. I just turned it off. You can even turn off the music in these video snaps if you like, under sound options. The other thing you can do is, while you're in this area here, is like Omega Race. I can hit start and go to edit this, and I can change the core, the ratio. So a lot of you are like, oh, I want to play this on a 4:3 instead of 9:16 or whatever. You can just change that out. It's on auto right now. So you can change it for the whole system or just for particular games. It's totally up to you. You can even hide games if like you don't want somebody playing a certain game or finding it, maybe a kid. So, I mean, that's just stuff that comes pre-installed with RecalBox, but just nice little features to have. You can hit select, by the way, at any time or I'm sorry, it's like X on your controller will add it to your favorites. See, I'll just, okay, add it to my favorites. You can see on the right side, I'm going to add these all and then hit select here, and now all of a sudden I'm in my favorites. So I'm actually going to, sorry I messed up there. I'm going to go from Z and up. So you got 0.1 and 2, nice, really fun in Zombie Raid. If you are into light guns, I highly recommend that. So I think I was up close to like S. So we'll get up there as I speak a little bit more. You know, it is really well done. If you saw my other video, I mean, a lot of these are going to be very similar. It's just kind of a, you know, a smaller version of the 512 gigabyte I reviewed a couple days ago. But I know a lot of you are going to be into it because of see, I think this is one of those situations where the ROM is duplicated, which is you know, it's just a thing of the RecalBox. He mentions this in his notes, you know, that it doesn't have the ability to separate them out as easily without having that. And there might be a workaround, but it's not a huge deal. All right, so as you can see, it's got the stuff. The stuff is here. All the stuff. The Simpsons 2-player, 1-player, Rumblefish for Thomas Wave. So it looks like your Naomi and your Thomas Wave are going to be in here as well in the MAME category. Tetris. What kind of Tetris do you have? Yeah, the originals and then the Japanese version. Nice. And this one, the Absolute Grandmaster. If you ever want to just totally get messed up, play that game. But all those are really good versions of Tetris. Terminator 2, you can play with your analog sticks, or it's even funner with a zapper. Tapper, mix, you know, get those beers to the patrons. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo and the new challenge. And Super Chase, Strikers, more Street Fighter Alpha Zeros. Those all run great without an overclock. Spider-Man the video game, nice. It's a lot of really good games here. Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2 Mega Play, so the arcade versions, very cool. It was kind of like the verse Nintendo games. Snow Bros, Skydiver, Shootout. Okay, I haven't tried that one. I'm not sure that's a light gun game. Seawolf, Scrambled Egg, Samurai Showdown, Salamander 1 and 2. Great game, great shooter. Rolling Thunder, RoboCop, Ribbit, Red Hawk, Rampage, R-Type 1 and 2, Qbert, oh man, Power Instinct 1 and 2, Power Stone 1 and 2, Police Trainer, woo, that's a good one for the light gun. Point Blank, that's a good one. Here we go. Pig, Pepper 2, Pac-Man, Outrun, of course, arcade classics, Operation Wolf 1 and 3. And we got Atari 2600, we got 69 games. Dreamcast, we got 11. So there you go, Crazy Taxi 1, Gauntlet Legends, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. We got Mega Drive, we got 72. In case you're wondering what's on there. Kind of the best of the best. Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. Toe Jam and Earl. Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Nintendo 64, we got 22. Trackball, that's what they're called, Trackball. I was thinking spinner. No, it's not a spinner. That's for Tempest. Trackball, yeah. So Nintendo 64 run pretty good. He's got these all optimized. This is a huge benefit of this image. Nintendo, so some of the best. You know, a lot of what you might find on like the Nintendo Classic. PC Engine, so there's no way to separate out, as he mentions, the PC Engine and TurboGrafx. So in case you're wondering what's on here, here you go. Vigilante. Accidentally clicked in, but look how fast I can get in and out of these menus with the emulation station. Again, no overclock here. Ports, we saw those. Those are going to be your Quakes and your Dooms. PlayStation, just a few, but it's got Pepsi Man. It's got Mortal Kombat Trilogy, Harmful Park. Some fun stuff. Sega CD, 4 games. Dragon's Lair, Sonic CD, Space Ace, and Terminator. All really good games. Terminator, great little game. Fun to play if you've never played it before. So bezels there, you see their system bezels, not bezel project, but maybe when the bezel project comes on board. You know, I wanted to do a playthrough of Donkey Kong Country 3. I never finished this game. I've done 1 and 2 all the way through, loved them. Was on Reddit the other day. They were talking about Donkey Kong Country 3 and how it didn't really get a lot of love, and they were saying that's because Nintendo 64 recently came out at the time, so it was kind of overshadowed by that. And then they've said another reason was a lot of people didn't like they were saying that it was that Kiddy Kong was not a likable character, or there was a like backlash or whatever. Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Play this game if you've never played it. Awesome, awesome game. And then you got your favorites that you can set yourself. I just started doing that. I showed you how with X on your controller. So, you know, if I want to add 88 games, I just hit X. I just added another game to my controller, 18-wheeler, just added another game to my favorites. And now it's all in my favorites here. They also go to the top of the list, I believe, or you hit select and it goes to, you know, the favorites of that particular category you're in. I'm in sports right now.
Wave brakes.
Select your watercraft, please. Welcome to Sunny Beach.
Let's go, Sunny Beach.
Get ready for the first race. 3, 2, 1, go!
Wow, this is not overclocked right now. It's running great. Woo. Whoa. Getting a little loosey-goosey there. Rumble pack's working. We're rumbling. Hit those waves. Woo!
Fight. Finish him. Sub-Zero wins.
That's what you get. So awesome work from Wolfanoz. As you see, the N64 performance is just kick butt, and I wasn't overclocked at all. We played some PlayStation. We're playing MAME right now. It all runs perfect. 32 gigabyte. It's extremely affordable. RecalBox, super user-friendly, super snappy. One of the snappiest images I've worked on. You can overclock this easily, you know, especially if any kind of decent cooling whatsoever. It does have RetroArch installed there. You can see there, and you can change stuff if you want there, depending on, you know, how you want to do things. I showed you that you can edit individual ROM files, you know, depending on what kind of, you know, emulator core you want to run on it. You can remove games, add new games. But overall, A+ image. I mean, his last image was for the Raspberry Pi 3B+. And so this has been a long time coming. I was even like on YouTube, and there's people commenting like, are you ever going to make another arcade build? So this is it. And he talked about that he puts it in his arcade cabinet. So yeah, you can absolutely put this in an arcade cabinet. You just have to bind those keys to your arcade buttons, but it should work no problem. Another comment is like changing the resolution to 4:3, or maybe even turning this into a vertical build. I'm not entirely sure. If you go to the RecalBox website, though, they have a really good resource there where they'll tell you how to change those settings if they are available. I've never tried RecalBox on a vertical build, but it might be possible. And as I said earlier, this would be really great with an arcade stick. But, you know, a lot of people do just like a nice controller. And I like that it's console and arcade, because there's so many good games for consoles. And so this is a nice little mix of some consoles, majority arcade. You know, this will keep you, you know, we talk about the 512 keeping you entertained for a lifetime. This should also keep you entertained for a lifetime. And yes, it's what, like 5% of the 512 or whatever. I don't know. I didn't do the math. So kudos to Wolfanoz. You're all going to really like this one. It's on backups.me if you're interested. Description, how to do all that stuff in the
Couple more
description.
shots.
And, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Later.